VyVGART.com/MOA. That's VyVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by argenx.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Coming up on SportsCenter all night.
A Saturday on the diamond.
2-1. Swinging a drive on a line to center. Back goes Mullins. Still back toward the wall. Gone! To dead center field. Yandy Diaz. But the Rays now with a commanding lead.
A new guard in Cleveland.
It gives them protection because I think the likelihood is they probably knew they were going to lose Ty Jerome in free agency. Their backup guard in Cleveland, especially with the Darius Garland injury. And we're not sure when he'll be back. Probably not to start the season here, but it just gives them some insurance.
Day 2 of the NHL draft.
First pick in the second round of the 2025 NHL draft, the 33rd overall pick. The San Jose Sharks have selected Simon Wong from Oshawa of the Ontario Hockey League.
Plus a clash on the hardwood between the Mystics and the Wings.
James, they thought they were going to bring the double on her. Smith, nice position inside. That's banging. Oh, baby.
Big time.
From the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
UFC 317 from Vegas in a trade of former first-round picks from the NBA. Welcome to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. We're brought to you by Progressive Insurance and have plenty ahead in the show, including day 2 of the NHL draft. But we lead it off from the bigs, where a pair of first-place teams again got together in H-Town. On Friday, Cam Smith's home run key to 7-4 win for the Astros over the Cubs. The former Chicago top prospect again went deep on Saturday, but this time the guy he was traded for erupted.
And the pitch. Swinging a drive deep to right field. It's got a chance. Gone. 3-run homer, Kyle Tucker. Cubs lead 7-2.
That's Cubs Radio Network. Kyle Tucker launched the 3-run shot, matched the season high with 4 hits against the team that traded him in December. Cubs rout the Astros 12-3 to stop Houston's 5-game winning streak. Tucker also scored 4 times to pace the Cubs lineup that pounded out 15 hits in Wisconsin. Seiya Suzuki, Michael Busch, Nico Horner also went deep. Chicago had 3 home runs in an inning for the second time this season during a 7-run fourth. And Houston starter Lance McCullers Jr. came off the injured list, allowing 8 runs, 7 hits in just 3 1/3. Dave Parker, a hard-hitting outfielder who was set to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame next month, has died at the age of 74. Nicknamed the Cobra, Parker played 19 Major League seasons, 11 for the Pirates. He was NL MVP in 1978, won a World Series with Pittsburgh a year later, and then won another championship in 1989 as a member of the Oakland Athletics. He won back-to-back batting titles in 77 and 78, finished his career as a .290 hitter, 339 home runs, nearly 1,500 RBIs. His former team, Pirates, again, put it on the Mets.
There's the pitch, swung on and line, tailing away from the center fielder. Taylor, he dives for it, can't get it. It's going to go toward the wall, backed up by Soto. And 2 more will score off the bat of Brian Reynolds to double. It's 9-2 9-2 Pirates here in the 8th inning.
That's 93-7. The Fan, Andrew McCutchen, and that guy, Brian Reynolds, hit consecutive 2-run doubles during a 6-run 8th. Pirates pull away from the Mets 9-2, having outscored them in the first 2 games of this series 18-3. Their lead was 3-2 heading into that frame. The game delayed 89 minutes during the top of the second with the Mets up 1-0. New York manager Carlos Mendoza ejected for arguing balls and strikes. Inexplicably brought back starter Paul Blackburn after a near hour-and-a-half delay, and it cost his team the game as he gave up 5 straight hits during that 3-run second. Meantime, Andrew McCutchen post-game on the passing of Parker.
That's a tough thing to hear, but, he had been battling, Parkinson's for quite some time, which, we ended up finding out about that quite some time ago. It was rough to see him kind of go through that, I just hope now he's in a better place and not having to worry about any of that stuff anymore. So, I was just thinking about his family and the fan base who may have had any type of interaction with him, childhoods, and he was probably Superman to a lot of people when he played. So. So it's a tough thing, but try to focus on the good, the positive, the things that he did while he was here, and happy I had the chance and opportunity to get to meet him.
Yeah, he was a terrific player, part of that We Are Family Pirates team that won that World Series in 1979. Meantime, Phillies first baseman Bryce Harper faced live pitching as he continues to work his way back after an injury to his right wrist. He's now missed 21 games, and the Phillies came into Saturday's matchup 11-9 in his absence, put another loss to that legend.
Now the pitch on the way to Murphy, and he hits a high, deep drive back to left field. There it goes! A grand slam! And the Braves take a charging lead here in the 7th inning on the grand slam by Murphy. It's now 6-1 Braves.
At 680, the Fan, Sean Murphy, that granny backing Spencer Schwellenbach, who struck out a career-high 12 as the Braves bounced back from that 13-0 loss on Friday with a 6-1 win over the Phillies. Schwellenbach gave up just 1 run, 3 hits, a walk, and 7 frames. Austin Riley, 2 for 4 with a run knocked in. Braves, who were shut out in their previous 2 games, get back in the win column. Shohei Ohtani, meantime, threw multiple innings for the first time this season as he ramps up as a starter. Saturday, he went 2 frames, yielding just 1 hit, and that included this.
Step back, turn, and deliver the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a slider. First strikeout for Ohtani in the game.
We talk about Ohtani, the two-way player. Stop and think for a minute, folks. I mean, how do you put on the calendar on a daily basis? Okay, today I'm working on the hitting. Oh, by the way, there's pitching to work on. I mean, it's just an amazing feat what he's doing, what we're seeing.
And that K of Jack Caglione, AM 570 LA Sports. Ohtani had the fastest pitch of his career, 101.7 on the miles per hour. In his 3rd start for the Dodgers, first start more than 1 inning this season for the two-way star, who is working as an opener, easing his way back into pitching. The 3-time MVP did not pitch last season, his first campaign with the Dodgers while recovering from Tommy John surgery. Things went sideways, though, for L.A. once he walked off the mound.
0-1. Swing and a ball well hit. Deep right center field. That ball is long gone. A 3-run homer. Vinny Pasquantino. And the Royals lead it 6-0 here in the 5th inning.
That's 96.5 The Fan. Vinny Pasquantino homer, double, drove in a career-high 5 runs. Royals beating the Dodgers 9-5 to snap an 11-game home losing streak. Ohtani, meantime, with the bat, went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts as L.A.'s leadoff hitter.
First pitch is swung on and cracked in the air. Deep to right. Down near the pesky pole. Curling around it. That ball is gone! 3-run shot. Will, you're a Abreu. And the Red Sox strike first in the bottom of the first against the Jays.
Yeah, boy, do the Red Sox need a day like this. 98.3 FM WEI. Wilyer Abreu, a 3-run home run in the first to jumpstart that Boston offense. They snapped a season-high 6-game losing streak, 15-1 over the Blue Jays. Cedar Rafaela added a 2-run shot in the 6th. Romy Gonzalez, another 2-run poke for the Red Sox, who halted their worst skid since September of 2022.
2-1. Swinging a drive on a line to center. Back goes Mullins. Still back toward the wall. Gone! To dead center field, Yandy Diaz. The Rays now with a commanding lead on a 3-run homer. They're now up 8-0 here in the 4th inning.
That's 620 WDAE as Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda each went deep, backing Zach Littell, who pitched 7 strong innings. Rays, after giving up 22 a night ago, beat the O's 11-3. Tampa Bay won for the 11th time in 15 games. They're just a half game out of first place in the American League East. You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. An important date coming up. It's Monday, June 30th. 6 Eastern. That's when NBA free agency negotiations can commence. There's some moving and shaking prior to that. An NBA trade on Saturday. The Cleveland Cavaliers acquire Lonzo Ball from the Chicago Bulls for Isaac Okoro. The trade cannot be finalized until the start of the new league year on July 6. Ball averaging about 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in 35 games this past season after missing the previous 2 campaigns because of a left knee injury. Okoro, 6 points, 2 rebounds, really fell out of their rotation this past season. A strong defender who can shoot well from the perimeter, but again, not part of that Cleveland rotation. This kind of gives them some insurance, if you will, at that point guard spot. Shams Charania on the deal.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have acquired Lonzo Ball from the Chicago Bulls. They sent Isaac Okoro to Chicago, but they also did some more business today. They reached a 4-year, $38 million agreement with guard Sam Merrill. He's been a top shooter in the league, has shot 39% from 3 over the last 2 years. But what Lonzo Ball gives this team is some size at 6'6" in the backcourt. The Cavs are also entering the second apron moving forward now, and that's financially a burden. So he's a little bit of a cheaper option for them. And Kobe Altman, the Cavs president, has been targeting Lonzo Ball since the NBA trade deadline. But what this really means is that 6th Man of the Year candidate Ty Jerome is expected to depart the Cavaliers as a free agent coming up. The Cavaliers are bracing for his exit. That's why you bring in Lonzo Ball. And now you have Darius Garland, Ball, Craig Porter Jr., Sam Merrill, essentially as your point guard depth.
Yeah, we talked about giving them some depth there at that position. Here's Bobby Marks.
It gives them protection because I think the likelihood is they probably knew they were going to lose Ty Jerome in free agency. Their backup guard in Cleveland, especially with the Darius Garland injury. And we're not sure when he'll be back. Probably not to start the season here, but it just gives them some insurance. By swapping out Isaac Okoro for Lonzo Ball, who, I know we always say when healthy, but, he was pretty good last year in Chicago, ended the season with a wrist injury here, but it's a low-risk move.
Marks, our ESPN NBA front office insider, joining Game Day. Emmett Golden knows a thing or two about Cleveland sports. He knows, fresh in his mind, about what the Pacers did to the Cavaliers after that terrific Cleveland campaign. He had this on the vibes for Cleveland despite any moves they make this offseason.
There's some teams that just seem to be snake-bitten or just always have something happen that they just can't get over the hump. Now, we're here in Cleveland, and you look at it, all the sports books have the Cavaliers as the favorites to win the Eastern Conference and to represent the East in the NBA Finals, and they should. But how confident are we? We know that they've been a good team in the regular season really for a couple years now. Like, the Cavaliers are good basketball team.
That's right.
They get into the playoffs, they get into the second round, they're always injured when they finally get there, and they underperform. So I just can't have a ton of confidence that once, I think they'll have a great regular season. I think they'll be the number 1 seed in the East again. I don't know how much trust I have in them, or faith, I guess I should say, to get to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, well, the NBA playoffs are kind of a battle of attrition, right? The injuries caught up to the Cavaliers. Even Donovan Mitchell, who was played through the injuries. Ultimately, that cost him, as Emmett touched on. Coming up, NHL Draft Day 2, some history made. We'll explain, and it's back to baseball where the A's snapped a scoreless streak from a Yanks starter. Was it enough for a win in the Bronx? That's on deck. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
Today on ESPN Radio, it's a free agency frenzy. Join Tim Bontemps and me, Evan Cohen, as we get you ready for a wild free agency season in the NBA.
You're going to see some people move some places that could potentially trigger other deals that become fascinating.
NBA free agency frenzy, today from 5 to 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
More SportsCenter All Night, coming up next.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Harry Douglas here. When you're on a business trip, you know what goes completely off the rails? Your workout routine, folks. Especially when you book a hotel that doesn't have a gym. Then you have to squeeze in between the desk and your bed, eke out 2 push-ups and call it a day. If you just stay at La Quinta by Wyndham, you'll discover there's a fully equipped fitness center at every location. Now you can wake up and do some weightlifting to prepare you to carry your team on your back all day long. Tonight La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at LQ.com.
No days off when you love what you're doing. Sundays are the best day of the week because you're just one day away from First Take returning Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio.
Up with it into second, one on to first, and it's a double play. The Tigers do it again.
Sitting high atop the American League, the Detroit Tigers face Carlos Correa and the Minnesota Twins.
Home run, Correa! Wow!
The Tigers and Twins on Sunday Night Baseball. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern, with first pitch at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Listening to SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
First pick in the second round of the 2025 NHL Draft, the 33rd overall pick, the San Jose Sharks have selected Simon Wong from Oshawa of the Ontario Hockey League.
As heard on the NHL Network, back on SportsCenter All Night, I'm Jim Basquill. Simon Wong became the highest drafted player born in China when the San Jose Sharks selected him with the first pick of the second round of the NHL Draft. His family moved from Beijing to Toronto when he was 12. The 6'5" defenseman selected 33rd overall. He's only the third Chinese-born player ever drafted by the NHL. Wong walked to the red carpet with his mother and got to see his brother for the first time in nearly 2 years. As far as winners from the draft, the New York Islanders had a trio of first-round picks headlined by the top overall choice defenseman Matthew Schaefer. They picked 9 players overall, 6 more on day 2. New York GM Matthew Darche on his draft haul headlined by the gem in Schaefer. He joined the NHL Network.
You had the first overall pick in the draft. You drafted Matthew Schaefer. He is such a unique person, aside from being a terrific talent. As you jumped into that job and you're talking to your scouts and you're focused on this draft, I mean, what was it to you? Was there one thing, or was it just the total package that he brings to the table?
I think it's a total package, because on top of being an outstanding player, because he's an elite defenseman that can skate, play both ways, and on top of it, he's probably as an outstanding individual as he can be a player, which is when you spend time with him, it's his maturity level for a 17-year-old is off the charts. So we're really, really excited to have him on board. Like hopefully he'll be an Islander for many, many years to come.
You got Eklund at 16 and Aitchison at 17. I mean, I don't think you could be really happier at that. I mean, you got a really good, skilled forward and a tough, nasty defenseman.
For sure, and the main thing with both of them is they compete. Their compete level is off the chart also. Eklund might not be the biggest guy, but I know the guys in the room here were saying that he's fearless. He goes on the forecheck, he goes to net front, and sometimes you're thinking, because he's not the biggest guy, well, how is he going to survive? But he does every game, and he brings it. He's always on pucks. The intensity is there, and Kashan, I mean, you see the highlights online, like the way he hits, the way he can move the puck, the way he skates. He's definitely a defender that when the forwards are on the ice, they know he's on the ice, because you have to keep your head up with him.
Darche touching on the other 2 first-round picks by the Islanders. Another A-plus team was the Philadelphia Flyers, who might be looking to bring back the Broad Street Bullies of the 70s. 5 of their 8 picks are 6'3" or taller. That includes top pick Porter Martone. NHL Network analyst Sam Casatino on the league moving in the direction of size matters.
When I look at rounds 2 through 7, I can't help think about the recency bias of the playoffs and the size of these young men. How many sub-6 footers? Not many of them, especially through the rounds 2 through 6. Fascinating stuff to me, just how much bigger the game is getting.
Meantime, a transaction with the Red Wings acquiring veteran goaltender John Gibson from the Anaheim Ducks. Detroit sent backup Peter Mrazek to the Wings, a 2027 second rounder and 26 fourth rounder overall. You're listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. I'm Jim Basquill. Back to baseball, where the A's were looking to get the offense in gear in the Bronx.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, a fly ball to left field, did pretty well. Dominguez going back near the track, on the track at the wall, and it's gone. Brent Rooker with a solo shot, his 17th of the year, and the A's lead it 1-0.
Yeah, as heard on Talk 650 KSTE, Brent Rooker ended Clark Schmidt's scoreless streak at 28 1/3 innings with that solo home run in the 4th. The offense flowed.
1-2 pitch lifted high in the air to right field. Judge going back at the track, at the wall, and Kurtz has left the building. It was only a matter of time, and Nick Kurtz is able to find the right field seats. Judge went as far as he could go, and Kurtz's 12th home run of the year is a 3-run shot, and now the Athletics lead 4-0.
As Nick Kurtz adding a 3-run drive in the 6th, A's beat the Yankees 7-0. Former Yankee J.P. Sears allowed 2 hits over 5 2/3 for Oakland. New York shut out for the 6th time, too shy of its 2024 total. Marcus Stroman, meantime, ready to return to the mound for the Yankees. The right-hander set to start Sunday against the A's. He has not pitched for the Yankees since April 11th. Hey, tune in to baseball action tonight as the Tigers play host to the Twins. Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball begins at 6 Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Those two back at it on Saturday.
The 1-1s. Fly ball down the right field line, deep by the foul pole in the corner. Gone! Zach McKinstry with number 5. 4th of the day for the Tigers. And a 7-2 lead in the 6th.
As heard on 97.1 The Ticket, Zach McKinstry, 3 hits, including that long ball. 1 of 4 for Detroit. They beat the Twins 10-5. Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, Gleyber Torres also went yard. Casey Mize gave up 2 runs, 5 hits with a walk over 6 2/3 frames for the win.
The 3-2. And that's poked right side. Past Young and into right. Here comes Osuna. He scores. And the Rangers win it. They walk off the Mariners here today in 10 innings as Simeon pokes one through the drawn-in infield to bring in Alejandro Osuna. Are you not entertained? 3-2, Texas triumphs. It is a happy house in Arlington.
That's 105.3. The Fan. Marcus Simeon, the run-scoring single with the sacks juiced in the 10th. Rangers beat the Mariners 3-2. Corey Seager went yard, while Sean Armstrong struck out 2 in a scoreless 10th for the W. 1 run is all it took for the Chi Sox.
The 2-0 coming, swinging a high fly ball out in the deep right center field. That baby will go! Leaping attempt by Yastrzemski, couldn't get it. It's a home run, and the White Sox lead 1-0.
That's ESPN 1000 in Chicago. Andrew Benintendi homered, while Adrian Hauser pitched 7 sharp innings. White Sox beat the Giants 1-0. Benintendi's 10th home run off Robbie Ray, who gave up 4 hits, struck out 6 in 6 frames. It was the 4th 1-0 loss this season for San Francisco, which has dropped 11 of their past 15 games.
First pitch from Murillo to Ramirez. That one a bouncing ball. That's past the glove of the first baseman Smith into right field for a base hit. They're sending Otto. McCarthy's throw is cut off. Head first dive takes Otto in, and Agustin Ramirez immediately plates the placed run. It's 8-7 in the top of the 10th.
That's 940 WINZ. That run-scoring single in the 10th. The Marlins stretched their winning streak to 6 games, 8-7 over the Diamondbacks, who led this game 7-3 entering the 8th inning. San Diego rebounds.
Gavin swings, hits it in the air, deep to right field. This one is way back, gonna go! Gavin Sheets, a 3-run home run. His 3rd extra base hit of the day, and a no-doubter to give the Padres their first lead of the afternoon. It's 6-4.
That's 97.3. The Fan. Gavin Sheets, go ahead, 3-run shot in the 7th. Padres rally past the Reds 6-4 after they were no hit for 8 innings in Friday's 8-1 loss. The Bats awakened.
In the Brewers' third baseman, here's Ortiz, launches one out to left. It is deep. Back at the track, gone. Joey Ortiz, his 5th home run of the season, his 3rd of the homestand. It's a 2-run shot, and the Brewers lead it 4-0.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 games for Ortiz, as heard on WTMJ. Backing this guy.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Curveball again for Quinn Priester. His 11th strikeout of the afternoon. He is through 7 shutout innings here today in Milwaukee.
Yeah, Quinn Priester struck out 11, career high in 7 frames, 1 hit ball. Brewers extend their winning streak to 5-0 over the Rockies. 95 pitches, the best start of his 3 major league seasons for the right-hander. Coming up, the Cardinals rally on the Guardians. Ace Bailey has touched down in Salt Lake City in the main event from UFC 317 from Las Vegas. That's next. You're listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Monday, we'll react to everything you might have missed from the weekend. I'll see you on the internet, kiddos, and at the campfire. That's Monday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text, all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by Argenix.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
More than 100,000 patients with sickle cell disease may experience severe pain and organ damage. But did you know that 1 in 3 black blood donors are a match and can play a critical role in the treatment of those with sickle cell disease? Blood transfusions can be life-saving, and you can be a match. Our blood saves lives. Schedule an appointment to donate blood by visiting redcrossblood.org/ourblood or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to help ensure blood is available before a sickle cell crisis strikes. Sponsored by the American Red Cross.
You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
And ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. They offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
Again, our top stories. Kyle Tucker leads the Cubs past his former team, the Astros. The Royals offense gets going when Shohei leaves as KC beats the Dodgers. Red Sox snap a 6-game slide thanks to 15 runs of offense. Hall of Famer Dave Parker passing away at the age of 74. And Simon Wong becomes the highest drafted Chinese-born player, 33rd overall in the second round to the San Jose Sharks.
Swinging a long fly ball out to right, and Kwan bounces one halfway up the wall. Rounding third, heading for home is Hedges. The throw is in, but it's late after being misplayed on the carom off the wall. Scott went to go help Burleson in right, and they just couldn't get it clean. That ball got off the wall in a hurry and hard enough to kick strangely, allowing Kwan to go all the way around to third base. So with that, it is 6-1 now in favor of the Guardians.
And that came in the fourth inning, and things looked awfully good for the Cleveland Guardians early on against the Cardinals. They jumped out to a 6-1 lead on Saturday, but St. Louis came all the way back.
First pitch from Herron, line into right field. Victor Scott's going to drive in at least one. One is in, that's Arenado. Coming in is Gorman from second. And diving into second base with 2 runs batted in is Victor Scott. Aggressive first pitch swinging against Herron, and the ball game is tied at 6.
And Victor Scott had 2 hits and 2 knocked in to make it 8 unanswered runs in total for St. Louis.
2-1 pitch. Swing and a drive out to left field. This is a no-doubter. Home run, Wilson Contreras. Solo shot, his 11th of the year. And the Cardinals add an insurance run here to start things in the top of the ninth. It's 9-6.
Now Wilson Contreras, Brendan Donovan both went deep. Cardinals 9-6 over the Guardians from 6-1 down. Mason Wynn added 3 hits for St. Louis. Guardians have lost 3 straight and dropped under 500 for the first time since April 9th. Cleveland had snapped a 21-inning scoreless drought along the way, but gave back their cushion of a lead. The post-game extra from our team. Doug Glanville and Sean Kelly.
Thank you, Jim. The St. Louis Cardinals win back-to-back games here to begin this series in Cleveland. Good start to the road trip for St. Louis. They'll go for a sweep tomorrow afternoon. They take game 2, 9-6. And the bullpen was just as key as anything else for the Cardinals. But big innings are part of the ball game today as well.
Yeah, I mean, big innings really set things off. And 6 runs, for the Guardians was encouraging for their offensive struggles. And they chained together a lot of things. The power game was there, 2 home runs. But that was it. And to the Cardinals' credit, Michaelis hung in there after the bad inning. Before the bad inning, there was a bunch of zeros. And that was really a credit to how they pitched. Their bullpen on the Cardinals side did really well. And their offense was very impressive because it was a mix of power, chaining together good, hits. They ran the bases really well. They moved runners with productive outs. They just did a lot of things well. And they were able to sort of chip away inning by inning. And then eventually they got the big inning. So this is a team that has played really, good defense and prevented runs, but here they showed their offensive capability as well.
No doubt. 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. The ball game got started in quick fashion. Donovan hits a home run on the first pitch of the day. The answer by Cleveland, but they still can't kind of put things together here as they look to end the month. Helsley got the save for St. Louis, the 100th of his career. But we kind of look sometimes at where these two teams are going. Did anything tell us today about what lies ahead in the near future for St. Louis and Cleveland?
Well, look at St. Louis. The National League is really strong right now, and there's a lot of teams, so they have to be better. There's still wild cards there. The Cubs are playing well. They play this kind of baseball, they have a shot. They certainly have a shot to get into the wild card. The Guardians have to really turn it around. Their defense is failing them. Their offense is spotty at best. And they're going to have to get, maybe guys like Bieber, guys who come back, maybe healthy, could be the boost. But they need more production on the offense and minimize the mistakes they're making on the defensive side.
All right, St. Louis gets multiple RBIs today from Donovan, Burleson, and Victor Scott in the 9-hole as well. St. Louis will go for the sweep tomorrow afternoon, and Cleveland will look to salvage the final game of a homestand before they hit the road for a tough stretch to begin the month of July. 9-6 was the final score. St. Louis wins the game and the series. For Doug Glanville, I'm Sean Kelly, right here on your home for every game of the postseason. Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Now let's go back to Jim Basquill in the studio.
All right, Sean, thanks so much. And again, we remind you to tune into baseball action tonight as the Tigers play host to the Twins. Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball begins at 6 Eastern right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
And here's the pitch. He lifts this one high in the air. This ball's well hit. It's Karen deep, and it is Trout here. Mike Trout blasts that one into the Angels bullpen out there, and just like that, an answer back run, and we're tied at 2.
That's Angels Radio AM 830. Mike Trout tying a home run that sparked a 6-run 7th that included this blow.
Here's the pitch. This is hit well down the left field side. Let's see how far it's going to carry down there. It is out of here. A home run. Kevin Newman, that's his first home run as an Angel, and that is huge right there. A 3-run shot. Angels have a 6-2 lead.
It keyed an 8-2 win over the Nationals. Kyle Hendricks gave up 1 run in 5 frames for L.A. You're listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Again, a swap of former first-rounders from the NBA on Saturday. Cavaliers getting Lonzo Ball from the Bulls for Isaac Okoro. Ball played in 35 games this past season after missing the previous 2 campaigns with that left knee injury. Okoro, a strong defender, though fell out of that Cleveland rotation by the time the playoffs rolled around. Emmett Golden talking about how rosters can be reshaped this offseason with so many teams that have not much cap space. It's trades the way you go.
Teams acquire big names now through trades and not free agency. I think that it's as simple as that. And I also think the players rather just know where they want to go before they hit free agency. Because right now, look, Kevin Durant was like, look, I want out of here. These are the teams I want to go to. Let's make it happen. It seems like it's almost easier, even though you're like, man, if you're a free agent, you can go wherever you want to. I just think it's a lot easier, and the biggest moves are trades now.
Davion Mitchell coming back to the Miami Heat, 2-year contract worth $24 million. He was traded to Miami in February as part of the Jimmy Butler trade. Appeared in 30 games with Miami, started 15 of them, averaged a shade under 11 points per tip. Bobby Marks, though, on the next few weeks for another Eastern Conference team, awfully important for the Milwaukee Bucks.
The next few weeks is probably the most important time period in franchise history because of them trying to build, add pieces around Giannis. And John Horst, their GM, has done it every time. Whenever there's speculation, they went out and got Drew. They went out and got Damian Lillard. I just feel like you've kind of run out of some options here based on the Lillard injury, draft capital that you have available. You do have some financial flexibility, but they got a ton of free agents from Brook Lopez and Bobby Porter's got a player option, and Gary Trent Jr. and Kevin Porter Jr., and what that roster potentially could look like in a week or 2 weeks from now. Might look awfully similar to how the team that lost in 5 games to Indiana.
Gabe Neitzel has a strong sense of that Milwaukee market on Clinton and Friends, talking about Giannis, saying he ain't going anywhere.
It feels like to me he is going to be in Milwaukee. He is in Greece right now, working out with his brother, Thanasis, who's been on the team previously, and then even some younger members who are under contract for the Bucks. 3 of them are out working with Giannis in Greece. To me, those are actions of a guy who is planning on still being in Milwaukee for the 25-26 season, because why would you want to work with the younger guys that might not actually be your teammates come this fall? So right now it seems to me that all signs are pointing towards Giannis still being a member of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, we talked about the Cavs earlier. We talked about the Bucks. How about the New York Knicks, another Eastern Conference contender? They're still looking for a coach. Bobby Marks on their outlook as free agency is upon us.
The concern with me is they don't have a coach in place, and their priority is their depth. And when you're going to meet with free agents and players, basically you have to go bargain shopping. What are you selling them on? Who's the coach going to be? We went through this in 2014 when I was with the Nets. We had traded Jason Kidd, who was the head coach at the time, to Milwaukee, and then we had no head coach going into free agency. A little bit different. We wound up hiring Lionel Hollins, and that did hamper us a little bit as far as how we could approach players that we were willing to sign.
With the 5th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Arius Ace Bailey from Rutgers University.
This was not one of his preferred destinations, Utah.
It wasn't, but he's there. He has touched out in Salt Lake City despite all the hubbub. Is that a word? Hullabaloo. Well, what else is he going to do? He has to go there. He's going to play with the Utah Jazz, Ace Bailey. Jonathan Givony joining Game Day, the ESPN NBA draft analyst, on the relationship between player and team.
We'll have to see. Utah picked him understanding that they were not his preferred destination. And so they were obviously willing to live with a little bit of the backlash. And, I'm not sure that they knew quite how it would play out, but ultimately it was always going to lead to Ace Bailey getting on a plane and reporting in Utah, because the NBA collective bargaining agreement is very clear. Ace Bailey's options are extremely limited, and he's not in position to just forfeit this gigantic sum of money that is headed his way over the next 4 years. And so obviously it's in his best interest to report to Utah.
And he will get paid as a result. You remember a day ago we had our hot take from Mike Tannenbaum on Aaron Rodgers, to him being the 4th best quarterback. I say 4th best quarterback in his division. That includes the Cleveland QBs. That's a hot take right there, right? Well, on the subject of Rodgers, Aaron Goldhammer, why don't we just pile on?
I think the end result is going to be the same. Congratulations on your trip to Baltimore and your first-round loss in the playoffs, where Aaron Rodgers will probably underperform. The other thing I will say about him, when you're 40 and it's 80 degrees out, you might be able to still spin it. But what's going to happen to Aaron when he's 40 and they're trying to play to win a division and the temperature is about 12 degrees? I don't know. Your body doesn't react the same.
Come on, he played in Green Bay all those years. Give me a break, will you? He's not a senior citizen. A former Steeler great, Ben Roethlisberger expects Rodgers to perform in Steel City.
I think if it is it, you're going to get everything you got, probably. Yeah. I think, we'll see what he's got in the tank. I mean, I think I made the comment 1 year after injury is always, you're still trying to get a feel, right? Mm-hmm. Last year was his first one back. He won't even be thinking about the Achilles this year. Mm-hmm. I think you'll get a better Aaron this year than you did. Even though you're older, I think you'll get a better Aaron this year than you did last year. Just because the thought process of the Achilles, what can I do is just, I don't think he'll think about it at all.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It really does. In terms of him being more than a year out from the injury, we had Mike Tannenbaum with his hot take. How about another Tannenbaum take, this time on Jalen Hurts and a Hall of Fame career?
You know what's interesting? At first, I was like, Hall of Fame, I'm not sure. But, he turns 27 in August. Yeah. So he's right now in the prime of his career, surrounded by a great group of skilled players. It's not out of the question. I mean, a couple of years ago, we'd be like, are you crazy? But look, he's a Super Bowl winner in the prime of his career.
If he wins 2 and is at this level of contribution, I think it would happen.
He is a winner. There's no doubt about it. He is a winner, and he's done it on the college and pro level, no doubt about it. You're listening to SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. I'm Jim Basquel. UFC capped off International Fight Week with UFC 317 on Saturday. The main event, UFC lightweight bout, a title bout featuring former featherweight champ Ilia Topuria, 16-0, coming in against former lightweight champ Charles Oliveira, 35-10. Oliveira 2-2 in his past 4 fights, following an 11-fight win streak. Topuria seeking to be the 10th two-division champion in UFC history, and his night of work was done early.
Good uppercut from Oliveira.
But there's a difference already in how Charles is absorbing these shots. Well, he's already busted up. Oh! Out cold.
A man of his word.
Oh, my goodness.
And now
called
the new UFC lightweight champion, Ilia
called it. He said he was going to knock him out in the first round, and he did it.
I love it. I love when they're talking over each other. It goes from calm to craziness in short order. You heard it on ESPN Plus. Topuria said he was going to knock out Oliveira in the opening round. He did just that. He's a man of his word, taking that vacant lightweight title at UFC 317. 17-0, became the 10th two-weight champion in UFC history with the knockout at 227 of the opening round. Following his short night of work, he had this.
Ilia, you called this. You said you were going to come in here and you were going to knock him out in the first round. Why did you believe that was going to happen?
I already said it. I represent the new generation of the mixed martial arts. This is the next level of the game. This is the next thing, and this is what I represent.
SportsCenter, 50 states and 50 days.
We're going coast to coast. We're going coast to coast.
On ESPN Radio.
Yeah, 50 states, 50 days. Summer on SportsCenter. It's a road trip with them. It began with SVP's backyard in Washington, D.C. Day 2 in Las Vegas. Site, again, of UFC 317 at T-Mobile Arena, where SportsCenter's Michael Eaves and Nicole Briscoe caught up with UFC heavyweight Tom Aspinall.
How do you feel about how all of this went down?
Obviously, I would rather fight for it. That would be the ultimate thing for me. Is I class myself as a champion anyway. I was the interim champion. I defended that. I was holding that for almost a couple of years, and I wanted to unify the belts, but unfortunately that was taken away from me. I was made the undisputed champion, and I'm ready to be active and defending that as much as I possibly can.
And to that point, obviously there are a lot of people who want to get in the cage with you. Cyril Gane is a name we've heard thrown around, maybe your next opponent. Do you care who it is, and does it matter who that fighter is in terms of what you want your legacy to be?
To be honest, I'm not really thinking about legacy and stuff like that right now. I'm just thinking about, I just want to fight somebody. I've been inactive now for over 10 months with no fight date, no training camp, nothing, and I'm just ready to get a date locked in, get a name locked in, and get ready to go moving forward.
What's that like, not having that opponent out there as you're still trying to train and stay in shape for when you do eventually fight?
You know what? I'm a very self-motivated guy anyway. Okay. I'm very obsessed with my training. I'm very OCD, regimented with my training and stuff, but ultimately, having a date, having a name, having something to work towards is when I do my best. That's when I'm fully locked in, and I look forward to having that against him.
For you, this is the environment that you will get the next time you're out there. What is it like to be in the center of all this, fighting for a title?
To be honest, I was just down there now, and I was speaking to our media guy. We just did a little YouTube video, and that was one of the best atmospheres I think that I've ever been amongst. Like, when Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria walked out, that was incredible. I think the whole
NBA free agency begins on Monday. And to get you set, don't miss ESPN Radio's NBA free agency frenzy. Today at 2 p.m., our morning man Evan Cohen hosts all the action, all the insight, all the information, and predictions getting you ready for NBA free agency. And of course, what the Lakers will do in free agency as part of the Lakers' biggest offseason in history. ESPN Radio's NBA free agency frenzy. Today at 2 p.m. with Evan Cohen, 710 ESPN. And listen live on the all-new ESPN.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by Argenix.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Evan Cohen here. When you're on a business trip, you know what goes completely off the rails? Your workout routine, especially when you book a hotel that doesn't have a gym. Then you have to squeeze in between the desk and your bed, eke out 2 push-ups, and call it a day. If you just stay at La Quinta by Wyndham, you'll discover their fully equipped fitness center at every location. Now you can wake up and do some weightlifting to prepare you to carry your team on your back all day. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book direct at LQ.com.
You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jim Basquill.
Outside James for three. Her third of the ball game, she's got 15.
You can tell she's getting more confident. The players are looking for. She's getting more confident. She's not hesitating, second-guessing her shot and draining it.
She had 15. Fellow rookie J.J. Quinterly also 15 in her first WNBA start. Wings beat the Mystics 79-71, where their other rookie, Paige Beckers, did not play because of a right knee issue. Meantime, the night's top sound's all about Major League Baseball. John Ryder has the details.
Sports Center all night.
Oh, my goodness. Check it out on Sports Center tonight.
Today's top sound.
How good is that? Are you ready to take?
Number 5.
Thanks, Jim. A full baseball slate in the Cubs right fielder doing damage against his former team in Houston. Call on the Cubs radio network.
And the pitch. Swinging a drive deep to right field. It's got a chance. Gone. 3-run homer, Kyle Tucker. Cubs lead 7-2.
Number 4.
The Brewers going for their 4th straight win against the hapless Rockies. The call on WTMJ.
In the Brewers' third baseman, here's Ortiz. Launches one out to left. It is deep. Back of the track. Gone. Joey Ortiz. His 5th home run of the season. His 3rd of the homestand. It's a 2-run shot, and the Brewers lead it 4-0.
Number 3.
Red Sox piling up the runs against the Blue Jays today at Fenway. The call on WEEI.
First pitch is swung on and cracked in the air. Deep to right. Down near the pesky pole. Curling around it. That ball is gone. 3-run shot, Wilyer Abreu. And the Red Sox strike first in the bottom of the first against the Jays.
Number 2.
There was a walk-off in Texas on 105.3 The Fan.
The 3-2. And that's poked right side. Past Young and into right. Here comes Osuna. He scores. And the Rangers win it. They walk off the Mariners here today in 10 innings as Simeon pokes one through the drawn-in infield to bring in Alejandro Osuna. Are you not entertained? 3-2, Texas triumphs. It is a happy house in Arlington.
Number 1.
The Braves get solid pitching and power against the Phillies on 680 The Fan.
Now the pitch on the way to Murphy, and he hits a high, deep drive. Back to left field. There it goes! A grand slam! And the Braves take a charging lead here in the 7th inning on the grand slam by Murphy. It's now 6-1 Braves.
Yeah, they rebounded indeed from that 13-0 setback on a Friday. Again, this Monday, 6 Eastern, negotiations for free agency can begin in the NBA. Brian Windhorst on priority items for the Lakers.
August 2nd is a very important day for the Lakers. Why? Because that's the day Luka Doncic can extend his contract. He only has one guaranteed year left on his deal. Ideally, the Lakers want to get him into a multi-year deal, and they need to do some work on their roster before they bring that offer to him. Specifically, they really need to add a center because that's what Luka likes to play with, especially one that can be a lob threat and can protect him defensively. The Lakers know this. The league knows this. Let's see if they can get it done. There's also some business over the weekend for superstar LeBron James. He has a option to pick up and decision on a $53 million number for next year. Last year in this exact spot, LeBron opted out of his contract and offered the Lakers that he would take a pay cut if they could find some free agents to go for. They didn't do that at that time. This year, that offer is not on the table, and the expectation is that LeBron will pick up this option and stay at $53 million with a no-trade clause.
Yeah, the Lakers just need to pony up for Nick Claxton. Brooklyn has a center that's available. PGA Tour Rocket Classic in Detroit. Aldrich Podgaier, 5 straight birdies, 765. He has a 2-shot lead heading in to the final round. And again, Sunday Night Baseball, Tigers and Twins coverage comes your way tonight, 6 Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Thanks for staying up all night. For producer Josh Kapke and technical director Justin Osterwick, I'm Jim Basquil. The best week ever is next.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday. Whether it's NBA free agency rumors or Major League Baseball, I'll react to it all in my Upon Further Review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
It is estimated that over 4 million people have been abducted by alien life forms, but only one of them asked for it.
This is Elio of Earth. If any aliens are listening, come and get me.
From Disney and Pixar.
Yes, it's really happening.
He'll go where no one has gone before.
Welcome to the Communiverse. Oh, what is this place? These are the lava tunnels. Lord, and I am not fireproof.
Disney and Pixar's Elio, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters. Tickets available now.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I don't know how realistic it is to put pressure on them because I don't expect that the Los Angeles Lakers can retool this roster enough around Luka Doncic to contend at a championship level. I think it's going to take more than one offseason in order to get there. Luka Doncic has to have the team built in a very specific way in order to take advantage of his skill set and to mask his deficiencies.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Brad from Macon.
Where are you at, Jim? Paul Feinbaum wants to put you on Mount Rushmore callers. I'm putting you on Mount Turdmore callers.
Paul Feinbaum. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC network.
Hey, this is Freddie Coleman, and coming up in the Reggae Monday edition of Freddie and Harry with me and Harry Douglas, we'll give you the storyline or storylines that you're not talking about, but that you should be going into the summer 2025. Reggae Monday morning, Freddie and Harry, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Amber and Ian.
Because I'm not a diehard hockey fan, because I grew up in Florida and we know very little about hockey, anybody who grew up in the state of Florida, I feel comfortable claiming the entire state of Florida. And so that's what I do. And guess what? It's worked out really well for me the last decade or half decade. I mean, really well for me because Florida has all the Stanley Cups over the last half decade. So it's quite nice.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bankton. Contenders in the NL Central were hoping to gain ground on the first-place Cubs, with Chicago facing red-hot Houston this weekend. But it was the Cubs who broke through the bats last night and came up with an impressive victory against the Astros.
And the pitch. Swinging a drive deep to right field. It's got a chance. Gone. 3-run homer, Kyle Tucker. Cubs lead 7-2.
That call for the Cubs radio network as the Cubs clobber the Astros 12-3, snapping Houston's 5-game winning streak. They remain 2 ahead of the Brewers in the division. Milwaukee won for the 8th time in 10 games, beating Colorado 5-0. The Cardinals stayed 3.5 back with their 7th win in 10 games. They down the Guardians 9-6. Tigers double up the Twins 10-5. Those two teams will play the rubber game of their 3-game series tonight on ESPN Radio. Our coverage of the Motor City gets underway at 6 Eastern. The Mets lost to the Pirates again, but stayed a half game on the Phillies. Philadelphia lost to Atlanta 6-1. The Dodgers' 5-game winning streak and the Royals' 6-game losing streak came to an end. Kansas City beat LA by a count of 9-5. Ilia Topuria knocked out Charles Oliveira to claim the vacant title in the UFC 317. He becomes the 10th two-way champion in UFC history. In the WNBA, the Wings beat the Mystics 79-71. The Wings won the game without Paige Beckers, who played Friday, but sat out last night's game as she is dealing with a right knee injury.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday. Whether it's NBA free agency rumors or Major League Baseball, I'll react to it all in my upon further review at 7 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From the Windy City in the Deep South, this is The Best Week Ever with Peter Burns and Courtney Cronin on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You the best, you the best, you the best, you the best.
Indeed it is Best Week Ever on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. I am Peter Burns. Courtney Cronin still on her 365-day sabbatical over, I think that she's been in Japan, Thailand, Hawaii. Basically, she's living life like an NBA free agent star that's about to make $45 million a year. Aaron Goldhammer, who makes $4.5 million a year, co-hosting this show.
Aaron Goldhammer, who makes $45 a year, is here with us this morning. What's up, Peter?
I tell you what, it's funny because me and part-time Sam, now that he's all big and he's taking corporate jobs and he's like gonna short time us here, we're talking about this morning. You come in and you're like, all right, so what are we talking about this week? We got anything we can get into? The Thunder winning a championship, NBA draft, NFL free agency move, and I realized this is one of my favorite shows of the year to do.
Yeah,
because basically everything is on topic. There is no such thing as an off-topic thing on June the 29th of the year of our Lord 2025. So that's why it's fun. When I saw you were co-hosting with me, I was like, I could go any direction with Aaron, and we're going to be in good shape.
Well,
so it'll be a fun one today.
I think it's true to say, like, these shows are great because you can do anything, and they're scary when you're hosting them because you could do anything. So it's the summer radio, they call it. The palette is blank. You know what I mean? You can paint whatever it is that you want, which is both an opportunity and a challenge depending on how you look at it. But I think I'm at my best.
Yeah.
When you get up and you say there is absolutely nothing going on, I think that's where I shine. Where I stink is in like the breaking news moment where Luka just got traded. Then it's much less fun.
I was going to say, because then you got to actually work. But we may have some breaking news as today is decision day in NBA free agency. So we'll get into that. And there's a question that Sam and I have come up with for rapid fire in a little bit that you're never going to be able to unhear. We'll just put it that way. Without further ado, let's go ahead. This is how we start off each and every show.
This is the biggest story of the week ever.
NBA draft is in the books and the NBA free agency opens up, but we start with this because it was a week ago today, courtesy of ESPN Radio, that this happened.
And that's it. The first title of the OKC era is complete. One of the youngest rosters in recent memory has just completed one of the finest seasons in NBA history. The Oklahoma City Thunder have their first championship, and they're the 2025 NBA champions.
Game 7, OKC won it 103-91. And Aaron, I bring that up, and I know it was a week ago today. However, I start thinking about it. How many different champions have we had over the last, 6-7 seasons, right? We've had someone new hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy. And I start thinking about, they say NFL is king. Okay, revenue-wise, ratings-wise, no one's ever going to deny that's a fact. When you talk about health of an actual league in which, hey, everybody feels like they, for the most part, have a chance as long as they have a decent front office, the NBA in this run, and now we see it with the Thunder and the Pacers being a young team as well, have put themselves in a really good spot as far as competitive balance through and through.
I agree, but I think that the NBA could also use a real villain because everybody rallies and watches against a villain. The Heat.
Hate watch.
Yeah, and there's some of that. LeBron, the Warriors, the dynasties are fascinating. And I wonder, people think that Oklahoma City is going to be a dynasty, but we had this conversation about Boston last year, and boy, how things could change in a year. And we thought the Nuggets were going to be a dynasty, and that situation has obviously changed. So I think that's a little premature to say. The other thing I'll bring up just about that game specifically, now that it's a week old, it is a Game 7, Peter, that will mostly be remembered for the Tyrese Halliburton injury and not for what the Thunder accomplished. And that stinks. The Thunder had a fun parade, and I don't know, they didn't have any drinks to celebrate it afterwards, and because they were all too young. I'm sure for them it's a really pure, amazing championship. But one of the things, the biggest thing that'll stand out to me is the shocked feeling of, oh my gosh, it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and one of the biggest stars on the court not only is knocked out of this game, but also isn't going to play for a year. That's something I'm never going to forget.
Yeah, and the way, and again, it's a kudos to the Pacers how they battled right after that, and you're thinking, all right, now the whole pressure was on Oklahoma City. You could feel it in that arena starting in that third quarter, and you're thinking, hey, this should be a no-doubter. Now, sure enough, they end up pulling away in the third quarter. They end up winning, and Halliburton, just a brutal, brutal injury. Oh. But you're right. I look at it in a weird way, too, because I'm an LSU fan. I watch LSU baseball winning a College World Series championship, and yet when they're playing Coastal Carolina in the first inning of the game, it's the head coach that's thrown out in a deciding game of the College World Series and their first base coach, and you know that they would have been suspended the next game. You're like, does this take a little bit of a shine off of it? To a certain extent. But at the end of the day, if you're a Thunder fan, you're not going to remember it. You're not going to care how you ended up getting the title. You won that damn title, how well you played all season long, Aaron.
No question. I mean, look, the Thunder are 1,000% worthy champions, but it is the one time in sports history where you had an injury that devastating in a game of this significance that you could kind of see coming because he had the calf strain. And I think it's interesting that, Halliburton made the statement this week that was obviously really emotional, and he's got a long road now to get back. It's easy for him, I think, to sit in that hospital bed. From some of the other athletes I've talked to that have gone through injuries like this and say, I don't regret it. I'm really glad that I played in Game 7, all of that. I think that, I don't know, ask him on a really dark day in December when he's still rehabbing this injury and isn't close to coming back. Now, do you regret playing in Game 7? I think that'll be a more interesting, revealing conversation to have. So
we'll have those conversations, and we'll get an opportunity to hear from him. He's going to have some time to get better. We hope he does, because he's one of the rising stars of the NBA. We also saw other rising stars of the NBA get selected. Dallas Mavericks, well, they made it official.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
Not a shock that Flagg was going to go overall number one, the kid that reclassified. He was great at Duke, offensively, defensively, the best player, Aaron. And it's funny, Tony Delk, the former Kentucky Wildcat star, works a little bit with the Dallas Mavericks. So we were talking about some stuff, this upcoming season, just kind of in a random phone call and catching up. And I said, hey, he's with the Mavericks. I said, how's Cooper? Look. I go, y'all trading the pick, right? And he just kind of laughed. He goes, I think we'll be all right. This kid is legit the real deal. And I just sit there and go, we had such an opportunity to drag Nico through the coals for like 6 more years in this, and all of a sudden now all is good. And now I can't wait to watch what the Mavericks are going to be post-Luka, now with Cooper Flagg at the helm.
Just because he got Cooper Flagg doesn't mean Nico Harrison isn't going to say dumb things like, this was all the plan all along. We sat in the boardroom, we were like, all right, let's trade Luka, tank the season, win the lottery. I'm sure that you were sitting there and you broke that all down and you designed that perfectly. Ultimately, it was one of the most incredible turns of luck in the NBA history. Mm-hmm. I think that we'll look back on it as a watershed moment 10 years from now. I think it's fascinating that Cooper Flagg is not going to a team that stinks. He's not going to the Hornets. He's not going to the Wizards. He's not going to the Jazz. He's going to a team that already has Anthony Davis, and then eventually, when he comes back from the injury, Kyrie Irving on it. And while the expectations on him are kind of down because of that. Yeah. I mean, they're also expected to go to the playoffs and do damage in the playoffs this year in Dallas as a rookie.
Right. And this is not, I mean, again, and by no means can you say Cooper Flagg is going to be the next LeBron James, right? I mean, you saw it firsthand. What LeBron James did when he got into the league, everyone's very well aware of that. But then it isn't then all eyes on Cooper Flagg. You're right. The idea that he's going to be the third. How many times are you going to have a transcendent star on the collegiate game that we've already seen it? I mean, you go back and look at the way he played in the Olympics and some of the workouts. All those guys were like, "What? This kid's 17 years old. This is ridiculous." For that guy to come in, the overwhelming number one pick of the draft, be the third best player on his team,
right?
We've never seen anything.
And it's not his team yet. I mean, I think it will be eventually, but it'll be interesting to see how the Mavericks handle his growth in that unique dynamic, because most of these transformative players come in to a team that is not anywhere close to ready to winning anything.
All right, so we have that. That is unlike anything we've ever seen, is that big of a star, go be the third best player as the number one pick. Coming up, why a top 5 pick gave us an ending, or actually a start, that we've never thought we'd ever see in NBA history. We get into the Ace Bailey Utah Jazz drama coming up and NBA free agency. He's Aaron Goldhammer. I'm Peter Burns, and this is the best week ever on ESPN Radio.
In 1979, the first words spoken on ESPN weren't just an announcement.
If you're a fan,
they were a sports prophecy.
Right now, you're standing on the edge of tomorrow.
This fall, the next era of ESPN begins. Sports Forever.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states or situations.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Running a business, I've learned that every missed call is a missed opportunity. Before OpenPhone, it was chaos. Missed messages, no follow-ups, no visibility. Now our team calls and texts from a shared number, tracks every conversation, and AI handles calls after hours. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone, and now I get why. Plans start at just $15 a month. Get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/radio. openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by argenx.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With the 5th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Arius Ace Bailey from Rutgers University.
The little kid in me smiling hard right now because I know the hard work, the sacrifices, the blood, the sweat, the tears, not just from me, but my family put into this. So I'm just blessed to be here.
This was not one of his preferred destinations, Utah. He was hoping to get to either Washington, New Orleans, or Brooklyn. The Utah Jazz selected Ace Bailey knowing that.
That's like when we called Aaron Goldhammer to fill in today. He was like, listen, I'll fill in for Myron and Matt. I'll fill in for every single other show. I'm not filling in for Best Week Ever. And guess what? You're stuck here on a Sunday morning with me. You are the Ace Bailey of sports radio hosts here, Aaron Goldhammer, hanging out with Peter Burns.
Danny Ainge of ESPN Radio, Sam Pierce, called me and he said, you have a choice. You can either wake up and you can get your butt to Best Week Ever, or you can never put the microphone in front of your face ever again.
And here you are, my hostage over the next 2.5 hours. Aaron Goldhammer, Peter Burns, Best Week Ever on ESPN Radio, always presented by Progressive Insurance. And we joke because Ace Bailey Staley is now a member of the Utah Jazz and finally reported to the team over on Saturday. And it was a little bit of a different draft process in which, top 5 pick. We knew he wasn't going to go 1. Cooper Flagg's going to be that guy. And, of course, Dylan Harper ended up going to the Spurs. The Rutgers versatile guard, pretty solid kid. Everybody thought he would go pretty high there. But then after that, people were wondering where Ace was going to go. And Ace was a pretty damn good player. Although it's kind of funny that, Rutgers had 2 top 5 picks or top 10 picks, and they were horrible.
Well, what an NCAA tournament run they had, Peter. You remember it? Boy, I'll never forget where I was when that and to that point, if a player with really strong prominence, this is like, Eli Manning or what we thought, maybe some of these other quarterbacks have felt over the years about going somewhere like Carolina or Cincinnati.
John Elway back in the day, right?
Absolutely. John Elway.